Pickup Lines is presented by Gamez Law Firm. Personal injury guidance for more than 50 years. Gamez Law fights. By Integrity Roofing and Siding. Family owned and operated for more than 40 years, serving the San Antonio area for roofing, siding, and renovation needs. And by the Sabinal Group. For nearly 20 years, serving the San Antonio region through professional minority general contracting services. Pickup Lines is broadcast from inside the all-electric Lexus RZ450e, courtesy of North Park Lexus at Dominion and North Park Lexus of San Antonio.
Good morning, friends. We are back once again, and this is Pickup Lines, the talk show in a car. A slightly crammed car this morning, but we're among friends, and it's all good. And Rosy got her hair done and everything. You look fantastic.
Thank you, thank you.
Rosy and Phil Zavala, ladies and gentlemen, I call you the first couple of fashion in San Antonio. Oh. And you can see why. Phil, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We're actually outside your shop here at Wonderland of the Americas Mall. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And at first glance, you might think, oh, it's laundry day at Ernie's house or something. What happened? Because he's not wearing his blazer or everything. No. I'm wearing a beautiful custom shirt that was made by this man here.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. We'll talk about it in a little bit because the camera, first of all, won't do it justice. But there's subtle goodies on the shirt that you're going to get a kick out of here. And you can get 1 or 2 or 10 for yourself here in just a little bit. But we've known each other for a while. You guys have been doing your things. And I guarantee viewers have seen your work out in public or on TV or at the Spurs game or whatever, and maybe didn't realize it. But let's start off by talking about your store, Ave Clothiers. And I'll start with the lady first. How long have you guys been here at Wonderland?
15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
15 years.
What do you remember, Rosy, about the first day, the first week of Image Avenue?
So we started when the economy crashed in 2008. Tiny little store,
yes,
400 square feet. We weren't even paying for electricity. It was so small, but that's where we started. And that was my husband's idea. He said, "Nope, this is what we need to do. We need to come out here and sell and do what we do."
Yeah,
you know, he knows a lot of vendors. I have my experience, and we did that. And then we moved. So the mall moved us over probably only about 2 years after that. In our contract, it says that they can move us, and they did.
They did.
And they moved us to a bigger location.
Okay.
And we were not quite ready for that, but it ended up working out. We were able to fill the store with merchandise and everything. So.
Yeah. Fantastic. Again, here, Wonderland of the Americas Mall. Burlington Coat Factory is nearby. Hobby Lobby is nearby. And I mentioned Burlington because you have a connection. Both of you were in the fashion industry. It was fate or fashion that brought you together. But Phil, I mean, what do you remember about your early days? I mean, you knew at a very young age that this is what you wanted to do, right?
Absolutely. Since I was a kid, I'd say this story to a lot of my clients. As when I was in high school, I'm from the Rio Grande Valley.
In Far Texas, right? You grew up in Seattle.
And so I remember buying fabric and then begging my parents to take me across the border to get my clothes made. So at early on age, that's when I realized this is something that I wanted to, continue doing. I did go into the banking industry also, like as a loan officer right after college, but that wasn't my forte. It was really apparel. Started working actually with Joe Brand in McAllen. That was my first venture in the men's clothing, premium specialty men's clothing business, and that's where I got that bug.
But I love that story because I read where you had your savings as a kid, as a young boy, and you would go across the border and buy textiles or fabrics. Uh-huh. And what were you did you make clothes with them, or what did you do with them?
At that point, I didn't know anything about that. All I knew was style. I knew what I wanted. I just needed to get somebody to make it for us. And that's how it all started.
So you were the best dressed boy in Far Texas, probably, back in the day.
High school.
I bet you were. And you're still one of the best dressed men in San Antonio. And you went on to a career, you were an executive, I think, was it at Burlington?
At Burlington.
Saks, I mean, you name it, some big time department stores. And you probably could have stayed there and done that, but at what point you got that itch at one point to do your own thing?
Part of the entrepreneurship really was, actually was an uncle of mine. He started his own business, having worked for a company, left and started his own practice. And then from there, that's when I kind of realized, like, you know what, I just need to learn every aspect of the industry and eventually find a partner. And that's where my wife comes in. and we met, and she was in the ladies' garment business, and I was in the
Right.
men's garment business, and together we really kind of formed a great team of clothing experiences that we've had throughout the years with specialty shops, value stores, moderate stores. So we know pretty much.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Now, Rosie, you grew up in San Antonio?
Born and raised in San Antonio.
You went to Incarnate Word,
Yes, I did.
University of Incarnate Word,
Yep.
and you got a fashion merchandising degree.
Minor in business.
Mine, you got both.
Right.
So you knew early on what you were going to do.
I did. So my parents, as many people, go to church. People dress up to go to church.
Yes.
So, that's what I saw. I saw my dad always dressing up, my mother also. I kind of always liked men's clothing.
Right.
Of course, I'm a woman, but I always liked men's clothing. So that's kind of what Phil and I, what we had in common. But yeah, it was interesting because he liked a little bit of the women's also.
Yeah.
So we complemented each other. The women, when women come into our store,
Yes.
they take his advice as, the Bible, because they trust him. And sometimes men come in and they want a woman's opinion.
Right.
So that
So you
works.
can get both.
Yes.
And we'll get into this in a little bit. It's quite literally like one-stop shopping at their store. They've got everything for everyone, essentially. You guys met, I heard, at North Star Mall once
Yes,
upon a
we did.
time.
Yes, we did.
What
Yes,
do you
we
remember
did.
about that day?
I remember going into Marshall Fields in the men's department,
Okay.
of course. And that's where, Phil introduced himself to me. I thought he was very, mildly mannered, and we talked
Well
a little about
dressed?
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Look, he looked the part, and told me a little bit about the clothing, and he gave me his business card, and I kept that, and I thought, wow, he's a nice guy. And
And in all honesty, she was looking for a suit for her boyfriend at that time.
What? Wait a minute.
So that's part of the
I didn't
romantic
see that on
part.
the script. I didn't see that on the notes here.
So I was
There's a
able
little irony there,
right? I said, "Hey, who is this girl? Where does she work at?" So that's how I pursued.
It worked out.
Yes.
It worked out for you. It worked out for you. What's it like working together?
well, I mean, we have the tough times, but it works really well because, as I said, we balance each other out. So he has his strong suits, and so do I. So I'm more operations, and I, deal with the employees really well. Of course, Phil, sales,
Right.
product knowledge, just it always amazes me, the things that he comes up with. It's amazing to me that he doesn't have
Right.
a marketing degree yet. He has a marketing degree in my eyes.
And he earned it in the store, essentially.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
The College of
Absolutely.
Image Avenue.
Well, it's clients giving you that forum. So look, I'm looking for this, and it's our job, my job, and Rose's
Right.
job to come up with creative ideas on how to put that idea and make it, work for them.
For example, what I'm wearing here right now. And you know this, Rosie knows this. I told them I will come into the store because for many years I wore the simple dark colored suit with the white shirt. And I literally say, you pick out whatever, like I did not, he picked this. You guys
Yeah.
picked all of this out, like, right? It gets me out of my comfort zone, which is amazing. And the compliments I get when I wear one of your jackets or one of your shirts, I mean, I've lost count.
And that's the best reward.
But isn't that there?
Yes.
You feel, and it sounds cliche, but whether you're a woman or a man, when you're dressed nicely, right?
And people recognize that. and
It
they-
just makes
yes.
you feel so great.
Uh-huh.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So how this came about is that we have swatches in the store.
Yes.
And you go through the swatches and you pick and you give us the details.
Right.
Tell us what is it that you would like, and we can make that happen, which is true custom, as opposed to where you go to a store and you look at these are the different models, pick 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Right.
No, that is not true custom. True custom is all the details. You tell us what you want.
So let's get into that right now, because quite literally, I think that's what makes you guys unique. Is you can come in with little to no idea and start with a blank canvas and come up with something that's one of a kind and
Yes.
beautiful and unbelievable.
For you, especially.
So especially because this is you measured me for this,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
it
absolutely.
will fit me and only me. So you want to get into some of the pieces here?
One of the sports shirts that we've been
So let's do
working
this,
with.
and I'm going to bring it in here.
And we work with different vendors, and so the idea now, instead of working with some of these vendors, is ourselves creating our own clothing line. So You notice on the upper part of the neck collar.
So this is similar to what I'm wearing right now. The print, you can't necessarily see it, but I'm drawn right away, Phil, because there's 3 buttons on the very top.
3 button
right
placements. Guys complain about the button being too low or too high, so now you've got 3 placements.
Like, how much do you want to show?
Yeah, how much do you want to show?
That's exactly. For me, not a lot. Is what I want to show.
That's why we keep it conservative all the way to the top.
It's fantastic. And the material, again, the camera won't do it justice. The material is great. There's so many.
It's performance fabric, and that's one of the fabrics that's doing well with the athletics. Now you're seeing it transfer into the menswear industry, not only for shirts,
right,
but for suits as well too.
Tell me about the buttonholes that are diagonally cut.
That's a little just different aligned as opposed to seeing it either straight up and down or sideways. This is on an angle.
Okay. All right.
Just a little small attention to details that's going to make it unique and different from everybody else.
Well, something else I wanted to show, which again, you're not going to really be able to see it, but on mine, you've got my, you're not going to really see it on this one, but you've got my initials on there, EZ, which is really, really nice. And, there it is, right there. Right there. EZ. I know it's tough to see, but at any rate, beautiful stuff. And people can come in again and pick out from, I don't know how many swatches of fabric you have, but.
And so one of the things that we've done, especially with our being creative with our clothing business, up until probably 4 or 5 years ago, we picked up one of the high prominent attorneys here in town that was having a concert in Austin. He showed me his painting on the wall. It's a big, massive painting. I don't know, probably $150,000. It was a Monopoly, a guy that does actually painting with Monopoly symbols.
Oh, wow.
So we took that image, incorporated his initials, created the fabric, and actually made dresses. We made hoodies. So from there, that's when we started coming up with different ideas. Now we work very closely with one of our favorite private schools.
Central Catholic, home of the buttons, for sure.
But this is personalized, and this is going to be actually for Chris Martinez. He's going to be the gala share for this year.
So gala's coming up here pretty soon for Central Catholic.
So you can literally take any logo and make it in either the outside or the inside.
You have to come here and see this in person because, again, the camera's not going to do it justice, but these pieces are unbelievable. Again, they're one of a kind. And the sky is literally the limit. This is another version of Central Catholic.
What's cool about this, this was actually Julia Hammond. She was the one that started this
Love
design.
the Hammonds, yes.
And she had some ties. We had some ties made for all the high school football players. So she took that football logo with the CC, combined them both together. So the idea here now is that if you got a son that's academics, soccer, baseball, you can implement any of those logos with whatever school you want to promote it for.
Gosh,
so those are nice, little unique ideas that nobody else has been doing here in San Antonio.
You're not going to see that anywhere else.
And so same thing, we do camouflage, performance.
So
Guayabera. And then what we do, we donate and give back to Central Catholic. We'll add the CC logo on there.
Right.
So if a guy wants a CC logo, a little bit more of an elevated look with the French cuff.
Yes.
And it's got like a little bit of stretch as well too.
That's fantastic.
Just a really cool, something unique and different. And granted, we know there's a lot of vendors that specialize in guayaberas as well too. But besides the custom and ready-made, we'll do something, uniquely.
Let me stop you there only because Fiesta will be here in what, 2 months, and people will be looking for unique shirts or for what. Now is the time to come and see you.
So all our spring goods should be coming here in February. So we go to market one season ahead. Everything that we bought in the fall they'll start hitting the stores here by February and March. So we're ready for Fiesta with all the fun Fiesta colors.
I love it. Okay, moving right along. You have Rosy's dress here?
Yes.
Because you have your own women's line for Fiesta.
Yes, we do. Yes. Well, and this is custom, so let's stay a little bit on the custom. So this was made in our back room.
Let me bring this over.
So a client asked us to do this, and of course feathers are still big. So.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's tiny. So she picked out the fabric.
It's a really cool fabric.
And this was made
in
our back
room. So you can see it right there.
It's
a beaded fabric.
Right. Feathers at the bottom. One shoulder, asymmetrical. And then regarding the Fiestanista, so we did start that line. We went to market and we bought all of the embroidered shirts. So that's what women want. We want those embroidered shirts, those bright colored shirts, and that's what we have in our store. We started that 3 years ago, actually. So we keep it fresh. I do have a couple of even just T-shirts that with a cool little print on it. So you can get little accessories too, little hair accessories, little purses, and things like that.
I know you guys don't typically name drop, but you've done. I remember when the Spurs played the Warriors, was it at the Alamo Dome? You did a custom jacket for a Golden State Warriors fan, and you mentioned some high-end attorneys, people that you would instantly recognize their names and their faces. But you've outfitted some pretty well-known people.
That was a great highlight because they were sitting on the first row. Steph Curry sees them from across the
at the Alamo Dome
floor, and then halftime walks over and says, "Hey man, where'd you guys get these jackets?" Got it from Phil Zavala, and so Steph was kind enough to also not only put it on his Warriors homepage, but his personal homepage as well too. And then we got recognized with Don Harris on the news also locally.
On News 4, yes.
And so that was a big plus as far as giving us some credibility with what we've done, a specialty type of piece goods. So.
Well, speaking of Don and many of my TV news brothers and sisters, in some cases, you've outfitted for many, many. I mean, I can't even count how many times.
The Spritzers, Larry's, Gormitas. I mean, a lot of the sportscasters that we work with as well too. So. We're very, very, very fortunate to have a good base of clients that trust us with, with their clothing needs, or even the tailoring aspect. That's another big part of our business. Is custom tailoring. So you've got a garment that you bought somewhere, you want it, you want to get it sized to you, and you want to, the tailoring makes all the difference also on how it's going to look on somebody. And really make it look like $1 million. So those little small attention to details as far as where the sleeves are supposed to hit.
Exactly.
Now, right now everything is about the skinny look. Having gone to market in the men's market, my last show that I went to in Chicago, I learned that 70% of those vendors are from Italy. So what I saw with the Italians is all these guys were wearing pleated trousers.
Okay.
2-inch cuffs. 3-button jackets with the top button rolling over and then double-breasted. So you're going to start seeing.
So they're coming back.
Trend. That's coming back. Slowly, it's going to start shifting. Some guys are already resisting it. In 2 to 3 years, I guarantee you're not going to have a choice because the market's going to be flooded with those piece goods.
That's crazy. Let me give you this back because I don't want it to get all wrinkled here in my lap. But
one thing we were talking a little bit about the tailoring that I wanted to bring up is that we can outfit anyone. So whether it be both in women and men, so whoever walks into our store, we are able to help them. And we have people referring.
Yeah.
People who work in other very nice stores.
Specialty shops.
They will send us that customer because they don't have what they need. And the resources, my husband has found those resources so that we can help them. So that's what we're doing.
Oh, another story. I've got guys. I'm talking about big guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about size 80. 72 waist,
large guys,
major big guys, or extra short guys. I mean, those are piece goods that are not going to walk into any store and find them off the rack.
Right.
So I'm with my background and having worked with a lot of these vendors for 20 plus years, I know that I can get those ready-made piece goods from them or have it made for them as well.
Very good. A few more minutes here with Phil and Rosy Zavala because it is 10 o'clock and their store quite literally is opening right now. You have someone in the store though, so
someone's working.
The store is not unattended right now. But I want people to know too, because I think I own like 7 or 8 of the sashes for Fiesta. With Fiesta season coming up, you make these beautiful silk sashes with a little pocket inside underneath for your phones and everything. And those are so great because people are looking for that and a place to hold medals and add a personal touch for Fiesta.
Yeah, we've been very lucky to also be working with a lot of the Ray Fair organization and the consejos where we do all the black suits that those guys are wearing during the events during that time. We're the guys that provide that. Same thing with the Ray Fair uniforms. We've been working closely with them for about 10 years. Rosie actually will be on the court next year with Dr. Oliva.
2026.
2026, 27.
Yes.
So she'll be the media minister, so she'll be seeking out your advice.
Happy to help.
Please.
And so the idea
Rest up now.
That's right. You've been on 2 courts?
I have been on 2 courts, man.
And so she'll be wearing a uniform. I myself, I would love to, but honestly, we're at capacity with Fiesta going on, and it's prom season as well too during that time. So
that's a great point. I wanted to mention that because there's quinceañeras, there's proms, homecoming season I know has already passed, but graduation season will be here before you know it.
Yes.
So many different things that you can come in and find if you need the dresses. And one thing that I think sets you apart easily from everybody else, which probably drives you nuts sometimes, is you guys are fast.
Yeah.
The quick turnaround.
Never say no and figure it out and make it happen. That's our motto.
I mean, I don't want to say same day and have 1,000 people show up here, but I mean,
I am
really quick.
I am proud to say that I've got guys that'll walk in. When's your event? Oh, it's going to be about 6 o'clock. And it's about 4 o'clock. We'll get you in and out in an hour.
Walk around the mall for a little bit,
Yeah,
and then
come right back and
no,
we'll take care
but
of
that's one thing. Like you can't. I mean, that relieves so much
service,
stress.
That kind of service you don't really find in any place, at least in too many places.
Yeah.
I know with us, I'm used to it. Having worked at Joe Brand, that's where I learned that business from. Mexican nationals would come in, they would buy their clothing. We were marking it up, and then we'd ask them, by when do you need this? My plane just left. Got it. That means get it done now. So we would have to jump on it.
But tuxedos, shoes, hats, accessories, all those kinds of things. I think you have a scarf
yes. So this is a scarf that we did back to. So I belong also to the Inspiring Women's Club.
Oh, look at that.
And we made this. So you can get this there with Virginia.
Okay. Just something else I think that's important too is embroidery. A lot of people are looking for someone that can put a logo on something or a design or initials or whatever.
And that's our secondary business.
Yeah.
So we started that. I've got two other partners. We have two other partners. That's Marty Gonzalez and George Torres, and that's Brand and Stitch, BSI. We specialize in custom designing a logo.
Right.
They have an idea of what they're looking for. We can help them with the graphics.
Yes.
We've got the artists, and then we can also help, like I said, with the embroidery for promotional items like caps, guayaberas. Literally, it's just endless.
Again, the possibilities are endless here. So, I guess looking ahead, are you guys going to outgrow this space here pretty soon, or what? I mean, if you were to look at the next 15 years of Image Avenue, what are some things you'd like to do?
We have already started looking into opening up another location, a much bigger location, really make it completely full service and add more, quinceañera dresses, wedding dresses, formal dresses, more men's formal wear as well too, and business suits. But that right now is, like I said, it's just finding the right help.
Yes.
It's somebody that's committed to customer service, product knowledge, and is just very driven to make sure that they're going to also be part of a team because our team with the tailoring part of our team, those people have been with us for 5 to 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a major part of our success because without them, we wouldn't be where we were at today.
They work so hard. They work so hard. I know, Rosie, Phil mentioned the pleats and the double-breasted and stuff coming back, but for the ladies, do you have any insight into what 2025 in the fashion world is going to look like?
We do a lot of formal wear, so that's what I just received our new books. So, I mean, beading is always in. I see softer colors. So what just came in are going to be the softer colors, not super, super bright. So I think more of a romantic look.
Okay.
I think is what we're going to be seeing for this spring and summer.
Very good. Well, again, if you're like me and sometimes you just have zero sense of fashion and you need a little guidance, they'll never judge you here. They're happy to help. And again, the compliments speak for themselves. I mean, every time, like I said, all those events that I MC where I have those amazing jackets and the colorful jackets and everything, it's these guys that make it happen, and people love it.
Thank you. Thank you for making us part of your team.
I can't thank you enough for your support and everything that you've done for me and continue to do for me and will continue to do in the future. I love you guys, and a happy 15 years to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's to many more.
15 years with the store, been in the industry 40 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't trying to age you or anything, but I've been around for a long time.
As a kid, we started.
Yes. He literally was buying textiles, and
so we.
Gosh, and they've been known to travel with a little embroidery kit.
A little.
So if a button comes off or whatever,
toolbox, I call it.
You're like a NASCAR pit crew in there.
Yeah, you saw us. Remember when you were on the court?
I've seen you. Yes.
One of the things that we always give back with our Ray Fair organization is to be there at 6 a.m. Literally, pins and needles, fixing buttons, repairs,
stitching,
whatever.
stuff.
Coming back at 2 a.m. or 12 at night, and literally, man, we're there for our organization.
So many great memories, though, and their store is part museum as well. You can come in and see all these Fiesta medals and the courts from previous years. Augie Cortez's cape, I think, is in there as well, and you've got football memorabilia and other stuff. So come by and see them. Image Avenue Clothiers inside Wonderland of the Americas Mall. So great to see you guys again.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
you. Okay,
Thanks,
you
man.
got to get to work now. The store's
Appreciate it.
open. Come see them today. The great Phil and Rosy Zavala, Image Avenue Clothiers SA.com is the website, and it's already on here. Image Avenue Clothiers SA.com. Come see them sooner rather than later to get ready for Fiesta, the quinceañeras, whatever the case may be. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you.
All right, there's another episode of Pickup Lines. We'll be back again very soon. You never know who'll be in the front seat or the back seat. And now we can fit clothes in here and everything. We need to have a rack installed here.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll be back again very soon. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye for now.